Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. I'm still away, still traveling, but the news does not cease. It continues to go on, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. Morgan Creek Capital CIO, his name is Mark Yusko, says that Bitcoin could be on the verge of entering a fresh bull market. In a new interview with popular crypto analyst Scott Melker, the hedge fund veteran says he believes the lead up to Bitcoin's halving event will likely ignite bullish price action. If this is your first cycle, that's usually the way that it goes. Usually about a year before Bitcoin has its halving. Bitcoin's next halving is in 2024. About 6-7 months, give or take, before we actually enter the new year. That would be 2024. The prices of the cryptocurrency market in anticipation of Bitcoin actually having the halving completely begin to go insane. The really weird part is that always after the halving has actually taken place, prices calm down again for like another 6 or 7 months. And the news always is, and it's really weird, it's the same cycle over and over. I don't know why people pretend that they're confused or surprised or this has never happened before. When Bitcoin's price does trend sideways immediately after the halving has happened, the news is always like, is Bitcoin done for? Why isn't Bitcoin moving? Can Bitcoin recover from this? And eventually, Bitcoin's price ends up going insane. And for those of you who don't know the time frame, once again, I'm just explaining. 2025 is going to be the euphoric market. It's always the same. So a couple months before the year starts of the halving, prices move up. This is where we currently are. But now it's just being coupled with the potential recovery of world markets. We get to 2024, I think it's supposed to be April or May when Bitcoin's halving is going to be. The price ends up going insane. Until we get to that date, everyone's like, okay, well, the halving has happened. Let's move on. People forget that the euphoric phase is literally right around the corner. Prices begin to go insane. The year after the halving, so this is why we had 2017 be the crazy year that made it into the news. Yeah, it's always exactly the same over and over. He says, but I will argue spring. Summer, right around the corner. My guess is May-ish, June-ish, 9 months before the halving, and that's the way it goes, end quote. According to the Morgan Creek Capital executive, crypto spring is mostly range-bound price action, with summer representing a bullish period. Yusko also says Bitcoin's price will likely react to the halving, as it has in the past, to send the value of the king crypto high. When people write king crypto, it's always like, what are you talking about? Oh, you mean Bitcoin. The halving, which is slated for April, okay, there we go, 2024, cuts people who are mining Bitcoin their reward in half every 4 years. He said, it's hard-coded into Bitcoin that every 4 years you're going to cut the block rewards. If you cut the block rewards, in theory, a whole bunch of people who are mining will go out of business unless the price adjusts, and the price adjustment creates movement. It's happened 95 other times before. There have not been 95 other halvings, but you kind of get the point that I'm making. So we're still on this weird train of the higher or the more popular people in the cryptocurrency space all announcing, I don't want to say the obvious, but at a certain point, you can't, like a couple of months ago, somebody was like, oh yeah, man, Ethereum's going to go to 2,000, everyone get ready. And it's like, well, they got to 4,400 before. So 2,000 is probably more than likely going to happen. Like people talking about 100K Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin usually does anywhere from a 3 to a 10 to a 20x in price whenever prices are going insane. So we will probably go at least to 99,999 during the next bull run. So it's just kind of one of those things where everyone is like, I guess maybe reminding everyone else that the market is going to be going back up a lot further than it did before, because it happens the same exact way every single time, especially as it becomes more expensive to mine a Bitcoin. So yeah, Mark Yusko, Novogratz, Plan B, what's that other person? The one who has the glasses and the hair and the face. I don't know their name. They're also talking about Bitcoin going to 150,000. And I think the price predictions that we have so far is the end of this year, Bitcoin having a price anywhere from 50 to 100K. I know that's the numbers that they're quoting. Next year is meant to be, I've seen anywhere from 70,000 to around 120,000. And then 2025 is meant to be the crescendo, the $200,000, $250,000 Bitcoin, what have you. That's the Mark Yusko, Morgan Creek Capital CIO, says Bitcoin is on the verge of a fresh bull market. Yeah? Let's move on. Also in news that always ends up being popular, cryptocurrency exchange Binance has said that they are not planning any layoffs, and they are instead trying to fill another 500 roles by the end of June, according to a Binance spokesperson. The comments came despite a huge spike in crypto layoffs in January, the majority of which were from crypto exchanges. In a statement, the Binance representative said, as of today, we are actively hiring more than 500 roles with the goals of filling them by the end of H1. We are not planning any layoffs. The spokesperson was responding to a request for clarification from Cointelegraph on the 1st of March regarding a tip it had received of possible redundancies at the crypto exchange. The latest comments appear to be to completely refute this speculation. And what kind of tip makes you think you could just comment or contact someone to be like, hey, we heard wink. We heard you guys wink might be firing people wink. We got it from a tip. Was it just someone in the office who was like, Binance might be firing people, let's give them a call? Who made it up? For those of you who are wondering why this is news, one, layoff news is always very big in the cryptocurrency space. I personally still don't get it. Every time that a company has laid people off, it ends up making it into the news and everyone is like, whoa, that's crazy. I don't know if it excites people. I don't know if layoff news is kind of the new thing for the cryptocurrency space. Maybe like the new ICO. I haven't really figured it out yet. The other part is that the people from Binance announced last year, during the omni-destruction of so many other companies in the space and all the layoffs that were going on, Changpeng Zhao basically announced that no, Binance had been saving during the last bull run, and therefore they have so much extra money that they were actually looking to hire people and there would be no firing at all. So I guess someone at Cointelegraph, wink, had a tip, wink, and decided to contact Binance to have them reiterate that they're not firing anyone, but they're hiring 500 new people. So, as you might have imagined, because the cryptocurrency space doesn't make any gosh darn sense, this was relatively popular news. I hope anyone out there who likes layoff news, I don't know what this did for you, but I hope you are having a better day because of it. That's the Binance is actually hiring 500 people news because they saved during the bull run, same exact way that everyone else should. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, because people need reiterations, it says the perceived Bitcoin maximalist. No, I think Jack Dorsey is like the final boss of Bitcoin maximalist. Jack Dorsey, you've heard the name before. He used to be the former CEO ABC123 of Twitter. He doesn't think Bitcoin is cool. He doesn't like Bitcoin. He thinks that Bitcoin is going to be the thing that saves the internet. Jack Dorsey believes that Bitcoin, within the next 10 to 15 years, you can look this up, he thinks that Bitcoin is going to be the only currency on the planet. Jack Dorsey is the Bitcoin maximalist. He left Twitter, for those of you who don't know, because he wanted to work full time on Bitcoin, making new applications, making new ways to make payments and all these other things. He loves Bitcoin. The Bitcoin maximalist and principal executive officer of Blocks.inc, okay, a fintech company focusing on Bitcoin solutions, remains bullish on the future of Bitcoin amid trading below 25,000 at the time of writing. Who cares? The American internet entrepreneur Jack Dorsey, not his real name, is among those taking advantage of Bitcoin's discounted price, consistently accumulating the asset, as prominent crypto analysts predict a massive bull run in the coming months. Yeah, there we go. Once again, you listen, it's everywhere. Everyone's talking about the bull run. Notably, Bitcoin has an exchange rate. They talk about Bitcoin's price once again at the time of writing. I don't know why they're so obsessed with that. Dorsey, the co-founder of Twitter and former CEO of the social media outlet, hinted, he doesn't have to hint because he said this explicitly a couple of years ago, hinted that he purchases Bitcoin every week. According to a comment made on Nostr, I don't know what this is, N-O-S-T-R, okay? This was a response to a post made by a certain user, UTXO, okay? He wrote, I wonder if Jack dollar cost averages into Bitcoin like the rest of us. You know how rich Jack Dorsey is? I don't think he dollar cost averages into anything. I think he just simply buys 3,000 Bitcoin at one time, and he's like, okay, now it's nap time. This, maybe, just hear me out on that one. He said, this is Jack Dorsey, yes, every week is the same. The positive responses and comments reached over 9,400 Satoshis on the Nostr. Okay, so I guess another Twitter-like platform called Nostr through likes. Here's the Nostr post, and here's Jack Dorsey saying, yes. Okay, here we go. Nostr, which stands for Notes and Other Stuff Transmitted by Relays. That is a very long title. Is a decentralized social media platform backed by Jack Dorsey that enables payments using Bitcoin's Lightning Network. You don't understand how much this meant. Like, he loves Bitcoin. Years ago, for those of you who were not here, I know you hear me say that all the time, Jack Dorsey, I told you, he said he loves Bitcoin. He mentioned years ago on Twitter, he's like, I buy Bitcoin every single day. What was the app? Was it Cash App? What was the one that he owns? One of the money payment apps that Jack Dorsey owns, controls, is the CEO of, created, who cares? He mentioned that he maxes out his daily Bitcoin purchase amount every single day. Look it up. I think, so when we have conversations about things that will be taking place in the future, when it comes to like, and I lightly air quote, the idea of like Bitcoin centralization or how many or how few people are holding huge amounts of Bitcoin, it's kind of situations like this. I was literally an hour and a half ago in a cafe with a friend, and we were talking about the cryptocurrency market. We've both been accumulating huge amounts of NFTs. We've been buying cryptocurrencies. We know that the prices are down. This is for us, our portfolio, a great time to buy because we know that when prices do go back up, it's going to be like, I'm glad I bought then and not any other time. But a huge majority of people, like I even notice when the markets are down, my views go down, my revenue goes down. Everything happens all in the same exact sequence because people can no longer jump on the hype train. Usually when we're like 80% through with the bull market and say, yeah, look how much money I made in a day, as opposed to getting in or just simply staying inside of the market and continuously buying as prices are lower. So in the future, I'm giving this around a good 2035. I think, this is my thoughts, I think the world's going to be in a bit of a ruckus. Because if Bitcoin does go to 10, 15, 20 million dollars per coin, we have a 40, 45, $55,000 ether. I think a lot of people will begin to scream in anger and annoyance that they don't have cryptocurrencies when they've had a lot of chances and a lot of time. And, it's been 14 years now. How many of you know somebody who got into the cryptocurrency market when the bull run was running? And the moment prices fell down, they got out of the market. They made fun of you for still being in the market right now. And you haven't heard a word from that person. I promise you, you are going to hear from them this year or sometime next year. They're going to ask you what to buy, how to get into the market, and they'll pretend like they never did something shady to you. So yes, Jack Dorsey and probably nearly every other millionaire No. I'll even give you one further. Billionaire under the age of a good 55 is probably accumulating Bitcoin every day or every week in some sort of fashion. So, yeah, I don't know how to really end this news story other than we knew this because he told us before. They're all doing the exact same thing. It's the same exact thing. What's that guy from MicroStrategy? Daniel Michael McMichelson. I don't know his name anymore. Do you think he stopped purchasing Bitcoin when the price is low? This man said he believes Bitcoin is going to $1.5 million in like 3 years. You think he's like, oh my gosh, it's 20,000. I can't buy. I got to wait till it's 1.3 million and then I can buy some. Anyway, that's the Jack Dorsey is buying. Every week is the same news. Oh boy, I wonder how many BTC he has. Let's move on. Also, okay, here we go. Same news. Xapo Bank, that is Xapo Bank, an international private bank headquartered in Gibraltar, has integrated the Lightning Network to improve its Bitcoin capabilities. On the 2nd of March, Xapo officially announced a partnership with the Lightning Network infrastructure platform Lightspark, which allowed the firm to implement Lightning on its platform. So we're about a good year and a half late. I'm about a good year and a half late. I predicted around 2021 that we'd see a huge surge in the amount of, what do you call it? In the amount of Lightning Network adoption. But now it seems to kind of just be extra beginning right now. Because Jack Dorsey and many of these other people who really believe in Bitcoin, and what's the other guy? The guy who was crying on stage a couple of years ago. I don't remember his guy's name. They believe that Bitcoin is the only, like literally the only coin, and it's going to save the world. But in order for it to do that, we need more than 3 transactions per second. And the way that you do that is by having, or the usage of the actual Lightning Network. But now it's only the last like 7 months that we're like I'm seeing a major pickup in the amount of institutions who are announcing that they're integrating the Lightning Network. Whatever happened to that thing from, what was it? Was that the Gemini twins? Remember a couple years ago we had news that Bed Bath & Beyond, Nordstrom, Starbucks, Uber, and all these other companies would be accepting Bitcoin and that they would be integrating the Lightning Network in some sort of way. Whatever happened to that news? That was news for like half a year. Was it the New York Stock Exchange with Bakkt doing that? I don't remember. I think it might have been right around the same exact time that we heard that Facebook was trying to make Facebook coin. And I think that might have spooked them and a whole bunch of other investors. Remember that? That was like a really big thing where everyone was like getting on board to the Lightning Network. We had all this news that like McDonald's and Burger King were all accepting Bitcoin for burgers. And then we had one from Taco Bell. Remember all that? Anyway, the integration enables faster and cheaper transactions on Xapo, reducing blockchain confirmation waiting times and transaction fees on the original Bitcoin network. According to the firm, Xapo members will now be able to instantly pay for small purchases of up to $100 at any vendor, accepting Lightning payments. High-volume transactions will not initially be supported with the integration. So, cool. I've heard of Xapo Bank before. We've definitely said that name multiple times on this channel. But now they have Bitcoin and Lightning network payments. I think the biggest catalyst for a lot of this will be when, this is not an if, this is a when, and I'm sure they're working on it. When we hear that PayPal, Visa, and I will lightly say MasterCard, but it's mainly PayPal and Visa, announce that you can now send payments in Bitcoin on their network. We had news that Visa is in open discussions, apparently, to try and integrate stable coins onto their platform as they're more of a, US dollar or stable currency amount kind of thing. But they also said multiple times that they're definitely also into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency payments. And I think PayPal still only has purchases for Bitcoin within the States. I think it's still only there. But by the time they roll out to many other different countries, and they're going to at some point allow you to pay for things in Bitcoin through PayPal, I think that's not even a tipping point. That's kind of okay, we made it. Like, we're here. There's nothing, all we need now is just extra integration into basically everything else. So, yeah, Xapo Bank. now has Bitcoin payments and they're using the Lightning Network. That's what has to happen. Yeah? Let's move on. Also in news, Dogecoin, the popular meme-based cryptocurrency, is now available for trading on a crypto exchange called Coins Pro, a digital currency exchange in the Philippines called coins.ph. Okay. The announcement was made by coins.ph on Twitter on Monday. Doge is now one of the slew of different crypto to fiat pairs available for trading on Coins Pro, and users can directly trade cryptocurrencies using the Philippine peso, I would hope so, at low fees. In addition to market orders, the exchange also offers limit and stop limit orders as well. So cool. This is our first Dogecoin news that we've had since Elon Musk wore a Dogecoin shirt at the Super Bowl watching Rihanna. Think about that. Every single day, Shiba Inu is in the news, and this is the first time we've heard about Doge. It's been, like 2 weeks now? So cool. Good job, Dogecoin, for getting another listing. We had news 2020, 2021 that the Dogecoin team was apparently revving themselves up, and they had a whole bunch of new things coming, and there was an NFT platform and smart contracts coming and AI and all these other things, and I haven't heard a word. This is the first time I've seen Dogecoin in the news in a while now. So yeah, cool. That's a Dogecoin is now available on coins.ph in exchange for the Philippine peso. Yeah. Let's move on. So remember how I told you that Cardano was like the never-ending story blockchain? No matter what happens with Cardano, there's always like 85 things going on with them. Like they can announce that something is happening, but then they announce that something else is also happening across the street. And like 3 days later, they're like, oh wait, hold on, there's also something else, other thing that's also happening. So then when you finally get the first 5, you find yourself still waiting for the next 25 things going on, because that's just how Cardano is. It says, with plans to become one of the most community-focused blockchain protocols, the Cardano network has outlined plans to usher in its long-awaited Voltaire era, following 3 major steps as outlined by Nigel Helmsley. Is that an L or an I? Helmsley, Input-Output Global's VP Voltaire, said that the 3 steps double as governance pillars and include the MBO, the Constitution, and the democratic consent. And here's the tweet forward right here, and there's apparently a little video. That's amazing. The first step, known as MBO, member-based organization, will serve as the aggregation point for all of the protocol's community members. According to Nigel, it is the administrator for all governance processes that will enable the continued development of the Cardano based on its roadmap. Because, of course, I knew that, didn't you? The Voltaire era will also be ushered in after the full implementation of the Constitution, which is a set of rules that will create the basis for all community members to abide by. A little dystopian. While Cardano looks to transition into a community-operated protocol, there is a need for a set of guiding rules for all participants across the board. The third step is the democratic consent, dubbing the technical implementation phase, which will enable wider governance and mass community participation, all made possible through blockchain technology. I'm out of breath. So cool. We're now waiting for the other 3 steps before we get Voltaire. I think there is there a date for Voltaire? Does anyone know? There's always... Cardano's in the news like 95 times a day. If we're not getting news that there's like an upgrade or an update or an update of an upgrade, it's Charles Hoskinson like fighting with an orange in a parking lot. It's always something. Charles Hoskinson, who was he screaming out like 2 days ago? I don't remember. Some woman or something like that. Someone is like, hey, Hoskinson, I like your coat. He's like, it's not a coat. It's a down. It's fluffy. It has this. And he goes on a whole Twitter rant. So cool. Amazing. I, at this point, don't assume Cardano's ever going to disappear because they have so many upgrades and updates. I feel like the chain will simply just be worked on forever. Like, I assume by the year 2155, Cardano's coins will have had kids, and those kids will be AI, and then people will be buying stuff from the AI in the metaverse of the Cardano that's on the chain. I don't know. It's just a lot always happening with this. So that's absolutely fantastic. I can't believe it. More things coming to the thing that already had other stuff coming. That's just crazy. We've never heard that from Cardano before. I give it, I'm going to say 2 weeks. And that's a sturdy 2 weeks. We're going to hear about some other update thing happening on their chain as well, because that's just how they roll. That's the Cardano. Has 3 other steps before Voltaire is officially implemented in a constitution, member-based organization, and democratic consent news. Yeah, okay. Let's move on. Also, and whoa, that's incredible. I can't believe it's so good for them. Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, is reportedly trying to secure cryptocurrency services in Singapore again. The custodial arm of the exchange plans to apply for a permit in order to start providing crypto services within Singapore. Although Singapore has been fairly well disposed towards crypto in the past, the country has posed certain challenges for the exchange. Just a year ago in February, the crypto exchange shuttered operations within Singapore. Binance Asia Services, which happens to be the Singapore affiliate of Binance, had to suspend operations after withdrawing its local license application in December of 2021. The reason stated by the crypto exchange was nothing more than strategic, commercial, and developmental issues. I feel like they shouldn't have withdrawn it because now they're just reapplying once again. However, the custodial arm of the exchange, now called CEFU, stupid name, CEFFU, that's what it's called, after Binance decided to rename it from Binance's Secure Asset Fund for Users, or SAFU, shall be applying for the Capital Market Service license with the Monetary Authority of Singapore. They said, given the city's reputation in innovation, good corporate governance, and a strong regulatory framework, it's no surprise that institutional investors are attracted to set up shop here. No, it's because Singapore's rich. They have one of the lowest crime rates on the planet. There's tons of wealthy people there. It's kind of like Monaco or Paris or London, but larger and cleaner and safe. Monaco's pretty safe. Anyway, the point is, this was also popular news because it's Binance, and maybe Singapore. I'm not really sure. Anytime in the past, and long ago, whenever Coinbase was trying to get like a license to work somewhere, that also made popular news as well. So why should Binance be any different? I assume this will go through. I assume they're currently having talks. I assume there's some money that's passing along a table or in a bank account or something like that. That's how it always works. So cool. At some point, they're going to have business in Singapore, and all the rich people will use their exchange, and then Binance will become richer, and then the rich people become richer. That's usually the cycle. Wonderful. Yeah. Let's move on. I do hope. I was going to hold it for longer, but I was like, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See